Hello and welcome to this information session for parents and carers around creating a safe school community for students. This session aligns with BCE's priority to promote a safeguarding culture in our school and reduce the risks of harm or inappropriate behaviour by staff or other adults towards students. Safeguarding refers to our strategies and practices for preventing harm and abuse, and is also what we do to respond to any indicator of harm or abuse. Safeguarding is a shared responsibility. This session is about highlighting the important role that you as parents and carers play alongside staff in creating a safe school environment. Today we'll be talking about student protection, which can be a confronting and emotional topic. If you need a break at any time, please take one. If this session causes any discomfort, makes you think about a particular matter, or there is something you'd wish to discuss about a specific situation, then please reach out to me, another school leadership team member, or a student protection contact here at the college. We acknowledge the Turrbal and Jagera people, traditional custodians of the land on which our school stands. They have walked and cared for this land for tens of thousands of years, and we extend our respects to them, their descendants, who maintain their spiritual connection and traditions. We pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. We thank them for sharing their cultures, spiritualities and ways of living with the land in this place we all now call home. May we continue to walk gently and respectfully together so that we too are one in land, one in spirit, one in faith, united in God's love. Lord Jesus, may we welcome the kingdom of God anew into our hearts and lives, embracing discipleship and openness to others in our families, our school and our neighbourhoods. You call us to walk with integrity in the service of others. May our service be filled with kindness and respect for all God's people, giving special protection to children and the vulnerable. May we seek the truth, listen to those wounded by abuse, and choose to act with compassion and justice. Give us the strength to serve humbly and faithfully, and to love one another as we are so loved by you. Amen. At our college, our motto, Strong Minds, Compassionate Hearts, links directly to our responsibility for the safety and well-being of our school community. Together, we are here to achieve this so that students can successfully engage in their learning. With you, we undertake the important work of teaching, challenging, and transforming our young people as they take their place as community members and leaders. We are entrusted with the great responsibility of shaping the hearts and minds of the students in our care. Student protection is integral to learning and teaching. Safety and security are fundamental human needs and rights. These rights and needs underpin students' capacities for learning and ultimately enhance their well-being and life opportunities. We take our responsibility to keep students safe seriously, and one of the ways we do this is by ensuring all school staff receive ongoing training in student protection and code of conduct obligations. In addition to this, all our volunteers and other school personnel are also required to undertake student protection and code of conduct training. As a BCE school, we enact the Archdiocese of Brisbane Commitment Statement, which outlines a zero tolerance for all forms of abuse and a commitment to safeguarding across all parishes, ministries and agencies under the jurisdiction of the Archbishop. The Archdiocese of Brisbane's commitment to safeguarding comes out of the National Catholic Safeguarding Standards, which the Archdiocese has adopted and adheres to. The standards are drawn from the recommendations of the Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse and came into effect in 2019. Standard 3 in particular refers to partnering with families, carers and communities to ensure they are informed and involved in promoting the safeguarding of children. As parents and carers, you have a vital role to play in helping us keep students safe. You may have concerns in relation to individual community members at the school or staff, volunteers or contractors whom the school have engaged. The internal pathways for responding to these concerns are different depending on who the concern is about. So, what does this look like? Please tell the appropriate staff at the school as soon as possible if you are concerned about the safety or well-being of a child. This will help us at the school to act as early as possible to protect and support students and their families. If you're worried about how a staff member or other adult is acting towards a student, or you see a staff member or adult act in a way towards a student that makes you feel uncomfortable, please tell the appropriate staff at our school as soon as possible. Irrespective of the situation, please come forward with your concerns, even if you believe the information may have already been reported. As a school community, we need to listen to each other, understand each other's perspectives, learn from each other, and lead together through our actions and decisions. So, what can you expect from this session? This slide outlines our goals. We all have a responsibility to protect children, and this session is to support you to know how you may best do this so we have the safest environment possible at our school. In our school community, you can raise any concerns you may have in relation to the behaviour of a parent, carer, or other family member, or a member of the general community, or the behaviour of a person the school has engaged. For example, a staff member, volunteer, religious clergy, or other school personnel. All students have the right to expect that schools will protect them from any harm. In fulfilling our responsibilities to protect students, we have pastoral and legal obligations. Student protection is about working together. So, as a school, we collaborate with you to model appropriate behaviour and empower students with personal safety strategies. We also build the capacity of our staff to help them respond to student protection concerns. As I just mentioned, student protection concerns can be raised about these groups of people: parents, carers or other family members, other members of the general community, adults within the school community, for example, volunteers or other school personnel, staff members, other students, and the student themselves. Harm or inappropriate behaviour can occur at home, at school, and at other places in the community such as church or the extracurricular activities that students engage in. BCE has processes and guidelines to promote safe and appropriate behaviour in our school community. This includes having clear expectations about how staff should act with students, as well as how students should act towards other students. Most adults and students don't intend to harm or act inappropriately towards another person. When it occurs, the reasons are often complex and there's no single or simple explanation. For example, stress, tiredness, or lack of skill or support can overwhelm a person and result in behaviour that may cause harm to others. It's important that we look out for each other and recognise the early signs of harm or inappropriate behaviour. When you report what it is that worries you, we as a community are better able to respond to the concerns and to keep students safe. Abuse and neglect. Abuse can include actions like hitting, shaking, punching, or using an implement to hit a child that results in physical injury or has a significant emotional impact on the child, such as a persistent state of fear and anxiety. It can include constant criticism, belittling, or rejection of a child, leading to a child feeling worthless and unloved. It could be a parent or carer choosing to use violence, including coercive control, towards a partner and their children or other household members. It could be an adult, teenager or child using power or authority to involve or expose a child to sexual activity. Neglect includes actions like a persistent failure to provide for a child's basic care needs, such as food, medical attention, or adequate supervision, which could result in significant developmental and emotional impacts on a child, serious injuries, or at worst, even the death of a child. What is staff inappropriate behaviour? Inappropriate behaviour by a staff member is behaviour that is inconsistent with the Code of Conduct. Some examples of this include inappropriate use of physical interventions, such as using force or restraint, unreasonably refusing biological necessities, disregarding the emotional needs of a student, including shaming or criticising a student, intimidating students, such as shouting at or threatening them, engaging in a relationship with a student that is or could be seen as personal rather than professional, personal communication with a student that is not for educational purposes, for example, social media contact, personal emails, or other behaviours that might suggest favouritism. Inappropriate behaviour could even include swearing at a student. The way BCE approaches student protection is outlined and guided through our student protection processes and guidelines, as well as the Code of Conduct. You can find these on our school's webpage or the BCE website. These documents outline our student protection reporting obligations, how we respond to concerns, explains the different types of harm, and outlines staff behaviours that are considered to be boundary violations. The main thing to know about all of our processes and guidelines is that they are focused on prioritising the safety and well-being of students and ensuring fair and consistent processes that are followed to address these concerns. How you can help protect students. Our processes and guidelines are supported by dedicated roles within the college that provide support to students, staff, parents and carers for student protection matters. These roles are called student protection contacts. As principal, I am a student protection contact, and there is always a minimum of 2 student protection contacts at any school. You can find out who they are by looking at the student protection posters around the school and on our school's webpage. Here is a slide of an image of our school webpage. You can see on the right-hand corner, circled there in red, BCE policies. Click on that page and it will take you to a listing of our student protection contacts. Our current student protection contacts are listed here. Myself, our Assistant Principal Students, Assistant Principal Religious Education, and our Guidance and Counselling team. What happens after I share my worries? Well, once you have raised your concerns with me or another student protection contact, there are clear pathways and processes around responding. Broadly speaking, once you raise concerns, we will follow the appropriate processes and guidelines to address the concerns and ensure support is provided to relevant people along the way. For example, students and their families or relevant staff members. If the concerns raised relate to the behaviour of a parent, carer, or other family or household member, the Student Protection Contact Team will work together using resources available to us. These next steps can include actions like determining the immediate safety needs of the student, and this may include safety planning, gathering further information, providing ongoing monitoring and support for the student, making referrals to appropriate support services for the student and/or their family, and, where appropriate, reporting the information to relevant authorities, either Child Safety, the Queensland Police Service, or both. If you want further details, please refer to our student protection processes and guidelines. If the concerns raised relate to the behaviour of a staff member, the next steps include actions such as identifying immediate supports for the student, ensuring the concerns are reported in accordance with the student protection processes and guidelines, gathering information, including clarifying the concern with the student, the parent or carer, and any potential witnesses. The principal then determines the appropriate process and procedures to be followed, including assessing the boundaries that may have been breached by the staff member. Serious or complex allegations of staff inappropriate behaviour are managed in conjunction with Brisbane Catholic Education. The process also includes obtaining the staff member's response to concerns. Depending on the seriousness of the concerns, the principal or the head of BCE's People and Culture will determine the outcome, including whether any disciplinary action is necessary. The principal will coordinate ongoing supports for the student and identify strategies to support the staff member and advise parents and carers of the completion of the process. Research shows that traumatic events that occur in childhood are linked to chronic health problems, mental illness, and substance misuse in adulthood. Research also shows that having just one positive caring relationship in their life can substantially improve a child's recovery and healing from stressful life events. As adults, we are well positioned to keep an eye out for all students to ensure they feel valued and cared for, to help them grow into healthier and happier adults. We encourage everyone in our school community to be part of making our school a safe place. You may see something we don't, and by raising it, you may prevent harm to a child. We'll take some time now to consider the impacts of not protecting children. What might be some of the impacts of not protecting students for students and their families? There are a range of possible impacts on students and their families. These are listed here on the slide. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list. But as you cast your eye across these potential impacts on individuals and families, we do realise that not protecting students risks serious harms and outcomes. Raising concerns about a student is very important. However, we acknowledge that some people may find this challenging or uncomfortable. Let's take a few moments now to think about what might make it difficult for us to raise our concerns. There are a range of reasons why raising concerns about a student's safety may be challenging. We might worry about the impact on our own child or another student. We might be concerned about the impact on ourselves. We might be uneasy perhaps about the impact on the family of the child, or on the staff member. We might be unsure whether or not to act. While it might be uncomfortable, it's important for us to have the courage to stand up and protect every child because they are not always able to do it for themselves. If you are worried about your child or another student, or you have concerns about the behaviour of our staff members who may not be modelling appropriate behaviours, tell me so that I can ensure the right supports occur. If you have concerns about my behaviour, please talk to another student protection contact at the school. Any student protection matter must remain highly confidential. It should never become a topic of gossip and should never be spoken about freely with others. The Student Protection Contact team in our college is committed to respecting the privacy and confidentiality of students, families and staff members. Therefore, information sharing is limited to the appropriate persons and to the extent that is necessary. We know that sharing your worries can be challenging and you may have follow-up questions or want feedback in regards to what you've raised. However, due to privacy, we may not be able to respond or answer all of your questions, but please know that the child's safety is always prioritised when responding to these matters. Perhaps what we've covered so far in this presentation may have raised for you a question or a concern. Please contact one of the college's student protection team. Here again is a slide, an image from our college website, which outlines and gives an image of each member of our student protection contact team and also direct links to various resources about our student protection policy and processes. Parenting and caring for children and young people is a tough but very important job. There are so many things that you are already doing as a parent or carer to educate yourself and your child about personal safety. To support you in your role as a parent or carer and as a partner in student protection here at our college, BCE have developed a toolkit for parents and carers. You can access the toolkit on our Parent Carer portal, and we will include links to the toolkit in our newsletter. There is also a lot of support to help families, schools and students in the community. This slide has some of the services available in our community. I encourage you to find out more about these services, share them with others, and access these services where appropriate. Again, you're welcome to contact one of our Student Protection Contact team who can help you to make connections and referrals as appropriate. You are not alone when it comes to student protection. We can protect our students as both individuals and as a team. There is always support available to you as families, parents and carers within Brisbane Catholic Education. Thank you so much for staying the distance in this important presentation around student safeguarding and student protection. Throughout the year, I lead activities with the school staff to keep the safety and well-being of students at the front of mind. I encourage you to use the toolkit to build your confidence and awareness as a parent and carer in supporting your own children and as a partner in safeguarding the students at our school and in our broader community. Thank you so much for your participation. Bye for now.